Hi, welcome to XReality Podcast. I'm the host, Dominic Wu, and beside me is my guest, Tugce Varol. Hi, Tugce. Would you share a little bit about your background with us?
Hi, Dom. Thanks for having me. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey. Currently, I live in San Diego, California. I'm teaching political science courses at San Diego Mesa College. But before that, I need to give you a brief information about my background. I had my academic degrees in Turkey, my bachelor's, my PhD, and I moved to San Diego in 2015. I got my second master's degree in SDSU, again in political science. Currently, as I told you, I'm teaching political science courses at Mesa College, City College, and I will also start teaching at SDSU starting next week.
Wow. So, what's your journey of being where you are today?
Oh, it's a very nice question because I taught in 3 different countries. Turkey, Russia for 1 year for when I was having my postdoctor research process, and now I'm teaching at San Diego. And you might think that, oh, she's a social scientist, she teaches political science, but recently we have to incorporate a lot of technology into our discipline. Well, it started with media, traditional media, and then it continued with social media, social media revolution. Now it's AI. So this is my journey. I am an adjunct part-time faculty in San Diego, trying to incorporate new technology and new literacies into my curriculum, into my classroom.
Wow, that's amazing. So you mentioned you had 3 places of education. One is in Russian, one is in Turkey, and one is in USA. Can you tell us what's the difference between those 3? I know there might be a lot of difference, right? But I just want to know because I was also received the entire education. I came to America when I was 23. I received, from kindergarten to college, it's all in Taiwan. I came here, took my second, bachelor degree, and now I'm getting my master degree. So I can tell very different from the Asian traditional, like a super competitive memorization based education to American. It's like a project based or more like a liberal. Like what's your experience of learning from those 3 countries?
As you said, it's like a journey, and it's a huge difference. Let me explain to you as a political scientist, but at the same time, I don't want to bore any listener. So
No. I think the political science
yeah,
is so interesting because right
yeah,
now you see we have so many wars, right? And you see
okay,
like different president has
yes,
different policies, and it seems like everybody is living in their own world, and we
yeah,
feel like something is wrong, but I don't know how to clearly cite it. Like, oh, this president say this is wrong, right?
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. So this is what you teach. So
yeah.
tell us more about it.
So I grew up in a country that was semi-democratic, okay, according to partly free, according to Freedom House categorization. And when I was in higher education in Turkey, I went to Moscow for postdoctoral research, and before that for my PhD researches. And Russia is a not free country, so 2 different political administrations and political systems, right? I left Turkey in 2015, and currently Turkey is a not free country. So
Oh,
there's
interesting. I
there's
really don't know what's happening in that middle
yeah,
east
yeah,
area. I have no idea.
yeah.
No.
Turkey is not entirely in Middle East, not entirely in Europe, something in the middle, okay? But yes, but political administration is certainly close to Russian political level, let's say, okay? Both authoritarian. The only difference between Turkey and Russia is we can see more vital opposition parties in Turkish political system as long as they are allowed to survive. So just what do I mean by this? Well, the opposition parties next leader for presidential election in Turkey is in jail. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So just Russia, the opposition leader, first jailed and then possibly murdered, right?
Mhm.
Well, these are instances that actually tragic. Let's come back to United States, okay? When I first came to United States in 2015, okay, Barack Obama was the president,
Oh.
and there were two candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump's first administration. So I've been through 2016 elections, 2020 elections, and 2024 elections. Categorically, United States is not officially a partly free country, but I can say evidently United States democracy level is also declining
Oh,
from various perspectives. You
you
can
mean recently in Minnesota, the ice, right? Crazy.
they are some symptoms, but if you generally talk about the indicators, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement, these kind of things, like the general indicators that you need to look, or freedom of academia. So Minnesota is just a symptom of what's happening. These kind of things. So I can well, I've been through all these three different political systems, so I'm not the only one. There are other international academics, immigrants in United States working in these areas, and they are actually more concerned than U.S. native academics.
Interesting. Wow. So for example, like
Yeah.
what's the political system? Let's say is the the free of speech, right? The freedom is pretty low. How can you even do the political study, right? I don't know. Like in Russian, you probably need to say everything is good. It's like in China, you need to probably just like praise the system. How can you get through all this like different types of system, but remain your own unique voice?
Let's give some comparative contemporary examples to understand what's it about. United States understanding of freedom of speech is highly wide, or it was wide until this administration. Okay, so what do I mean by that? You can use your social media, and you can easily write something, with using ugly words to any political actors. Okay, I'm trying to be nice.
But that like here, right?
Yeah. And it's not a crime. Okay, even during the first Trump administration, there was one federal judge decision. I think President Trump blocked one of the tweet accounts, and then the judge decided that no, you are a president of the United States. You cannot block someone on social media. You need to tolerate all those critics. Okay, this was the United States freedom of speech level. Okay, that level just a little bit declined. But European countries' freedom of speech is understanding freedom of speech is quite different than United States because of their history, background, what happened in Europe for centuries. You can go all the way back to World War II, rise of fascism, rise of extreme nationalism, or all these extreme political ideologies and the scars that they've left in European Union. So their freedom of speech understanding is a little bit restricted and includes some preemptive caution principles. So it's different, okay? So Germany, for instance, it has their Nazi Germany history. So in their constitution and in their federal law, there are some restrictions about Nazi propaganda, okay? Which is understandable. I think I can give you one example. What's happening today? United Kingdom, right? I will go between calling Twitter and X. Okay, I'm sorry about that. It's still Twitter for me. So United Kingdom is not happy about activities of Twitter in UK internet sphere as a corporation since the company was purchased by Elon Musk. So today, I think they sent a very serious warning to Elon Musk leadership that they are so close to shut down Twitter in United Kingdom because of their national security interests. Okay.
May I ask you, like, because Elon involved in a lot of really cool companies, which company or anything related to Elon Musk need to be shut down? Like, what company in UK?
Is this your idea or?
Oh no. I mean, I just wanna ask you, like, what company? Because you mentioned that the UK is not happy about
Twitter. It's Twitter. X, Twitter X. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So they don't want to shut down.
They don't want to.
I mean, their intention is to expecting these companies, okay, these giant social media companies, to follow the local rules and regulations, whether it is United Kingdom, it is Germany, it's Denmark, Netherlands. So they set the rules, okay, not Elon Musk. But what Elon Musk's X is doing right now is to change United Kingdom's social media rules and regulations based on their understanding. Okay, this is a disputable area, but you need to approach this situation not only for freedom of speech point, but you need to also incorporate other areas. One is election integrity, other is data privacy.
Oh, yes.
So these are new important areas that these social media companies and AI companies are trying to dominate for particular reasons, for their corporate interests or for their political allies, political interests. Okay, so that's why what we see is European countries are reacting to this new era. Okay, they're just trying to put their guardrails. European countries are, as a matter of fact, European Union is always spearheading these, particularly on these issues, way before than United States. Okay, because United States strategy is liberal economy. Okay, is let those companies first grow, and let's see what's going to happen next 5 to 10 years. Let them dominate the market, and then we will start putting some regulations, right? European Union, well, the mentality is entirely different there. They first think about individuals and society. What's going to, how these corporations, new tactics, strategies, their election interferences will impact our society. So we don't have time to wait until Elon Musk, decide who's going to be the next winner of the German election. That's the difference. So um, I hope I'm clear about the difference mentality of freedom of speech in these two different territories. I don't want to say Northern America because Canada is different, United States particularly, and other Western countries.
Yeah, yeah. I think the interesting thing, because I mean, I worked for Meta in the past, so I know like a GDPR, right? Everything that we design, like for example, like I design apps and I also design VR space, right? In Europe, it's always like tons of regulation. Whatever we design needs to go through the legal, which is attorney. They need to read it, make sure we won't get sued. As if you see, like, I remember when I worked for Meta back in 2020 to 2022, every day in the morning, I always, I always can see like a lot of news, some very few positive, but a lot of negative. A lot of them are focusing on the influence that, for example, teenagers, right, looking at some posts, and because of the customization, and also the post that triggers people's emotion will go viral. So you can see a lot of extreme post or extreme thinking. That is not the majority, but that everybody will know it and think this is a norm, right? So, and influence other people, and people want to go viral because right now we are in the social media era. A lot of, for example, millennials or Gen Z, their goal is to be a YouTuber, right? Or like a IG, right? Like a popular in IG, right? So by posting those more like a trigger someone's emotion types of a post, they can get more eyeballs, so they can potentially get some sponsors or get some kind of cashing those kind of views. So I think it's also just like you said that American probably is more like a governed or influenced, huge influence by the corporation, right? By the elites, right? And for European, it's more like a individual. How can we protect individual? So I remember a long time there was a saying that United States like to invent stuff, and Asia like to copy, and European likes to create a lot of rules to ban it, something like that, or censor it. So yeah, so I think that's the kind of like a different cultures of doing it, and I think for Asia, I mean, I grew up in Taiwan, so it's pretty much very similar to USA. So we post things on social media, right? But we have because I was also, like influenced by Chinese kind of roots. So there's a certain mainstream that we have to follow. It's probably same as in USA, right? If you are in different zip code zone, and you probably need to be aware of what you say to fit that zip code, right? For example, if you are in Texas versus if you are, or Florida versus if you are in California, right? We all know that political colors. So I think for me, I think I am more like I was here and I was more democratic, right? When I was migrate to here, right? Because democratic is very friendly to immigrants, right? But the more that I get involved, I got my citizenship back in 2022, and I start seeing a lot of problems that if you are too liberal, right? I remember one of my friend, she told me that we don't want, during COVID, she said that we don't want your LA people to move down here to OC. Why? Because you are liberal. You see, like the environment are so bad, right? Like it's so dirty in the downtown LA. We are good, right? We keep our OC, Orange County, very prosperous, very rich. We don't want those liberal to come down and make our environment like a very chaotic. So I can see like there are a lot of roots, and because of the culture and because of the different group of people originally live there, and the thinking will start forming very similar. And I think right now our political is very bipolar, right? Like blue and red. Like everybody is like every it feels like a very extreme. And I remember one time listening to Andrew Young's
Mhm.
talk. He mentioned that we need somebody in the middle a little bit because right now everything is bipolar. Yeah, so this is just like my thought about my personal experience is more like because people always like the party or like the political ideas that benefit to them, right? So when I was in immigrant status or trying to get visa, I really really appreciate democratic, right? And slowly, I feel like the extreme is slowly pour into the middle because I understand that if you are go too liberal, too too crazy, then I think somehow go to the middle, like Andrew Young's talk. I really want to vote for Andrew Young, but unfortunately, it's very hard. But what do you see like the political thing
Okay.
happening in USA?
There are a lot of things that I want to mention in your sentences. First of all, do you know Ian Bremmer? He is also a political scientist. He has his own think tank, I think Eurasian Institute. He gave a wonderful TED talk a year ago. And if I'm not wrong, the title of the talk was where it's going to be the next World War, okay? And in his speech, he says that the Third World War will not be between United States and China in the Pacific. He said it's going to be a digital wars.
Oh,
Okay, so digital wars. So these new technology companies, we need to wait for their intention. Is this are they going to be benevolent or malevolent? Okay, are they going to act hostile or friendly? Are they going to try to control the governments, or are they going to work for the benefit of the society? Okay, that was his warning. Well, it was before the 2024 election. Okay, he predicted correctly, and we are in the middle of digital wars right now. And it is perfectly working with the American individualism that you just mentioned, what's happening in OC. Okay. American individualism with the addition of the American two-party system, okay, this dominance of two-party system.
Yeah.
Enabling political polarization easily. And we are right now at the highest of political polarization. You might feel, for instance, yourself, oh, I used to be a liberal, but a couple of years later, I found those arguments too extreme. Well, in my case, it's totally different, okay? I came from Istanbul, Turkey, 2015, and let's say it's the political spectrum. This is the middle. I was slightly on the right when I was living in Turkey, okay? Slightly on the right, just about so close to the center, okay? I found myself in the United States, extreme left.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Why I suddenly felt like, okay, I what I expect from a society and government, these are the missing items in the systems. So I think I need to be the extreme left. Especially these basic standards that needs to be provided by the government or the local government in Western societies are missing in United States, like health care.
Yeah,
Like
healthcare.
healthcare is, I think it's a big comparison. Okay,
Yeah.
so I found myself saying, "Hey, I think we need universal healthcare for at least children, each between 0 to 5." Okay, which Mayor Mamdani is about.
Oh, of the New York.
New York,
right?
yes.
That's why he got elected. I really like the video or the concept.
Yeah.
He just go to the street and show, hey, this is so expensive. I really feel like, wow, this is just touched to my heart. I wish there's any candidate can do that. Yeah.
So, if it's already given to you, okay, you're born in a society, you have a universal healthcare or an affordable healthcare insurance system, okay, supported by the government, affordable housing, maybe unemployment rights and maternity rights, okay, you don't think that you're leftist because it's already given. But if these standards are missing, okay, and you are way back in history, that your journey is about to start, okay, you need to demand all those things. You find yourself progressive left, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what's happening. Once you establish all those basic rights, maybe if one day it happens in United States, we might see some shifts actually between right and left.
Yeah.
Okay, but these problems remain unsolved.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently, ACA credits are expired, right? 22 million more people are uninsured as of today, and it's going to have impact on rising the insurance premiums for the other people.
Yeah.
So it's not solved, it's actually backward. So we're not. So where do you put yourself on the political spectrum in that sense? You might be conservative, living in Texas, rural area, church going on Sunday. Okay, you might be. I'm a conservative. I'm a right leaning. I always fight, but you are uninsured right now, which is one of the priority in left-leaning political, okay? You don't want to say that, okay, I think some left-leaning political demands. You don't want to say it, but that demand coming from left. So you find yourself between identity, which is something subjective in political science that we say it's abstract, okay? Identity politics is abstract. But health insurance is material, because you feel the absence of it, okay? If you do not have an insurance, if you're having a fever, if your kid is sick, you can't go to doctor. So it has an immediate impact on your life. That's material, but the identity is something abstract. Maybe you don't have any LGBTQ plus friends, okay? You don't know what does it mean. Maybe you don't have any transgender kid, cousin, because you live in a rural place. So you don't have contact with that matter. It's identity politics. You don't have any experience about it, but you have an engineered consent thanks to political figures and social media. Now you have an idea, right? But what is missing? You don't have a good school for your kid. Rural hospitals are shut down after the last big, beautiful bill. Okay, you don't have doctor, you don't have nurse, you don't have health clinics, and lastly, you lost your insurance maybe. Okay, so, and you have only two options: Democratic Party and Republican Party.
Yeah.
So that immediately creates a polarization in the society, and American individualism remains. Okay, you're stuck in between these problems. Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Taiwan, and Taiwan, we have universal health care. You just pay like a $3, $3 USD. You can, go to dentist, and you just need to pay $3. When I was in Taiwan, probably like 20 years ago.
So that problem is already solved, right? There's no discussion about. Maybe there's some discussion about how to reform it, how to restructure it, to make it better.
It's deficient.
It's a solved issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but in the United States, it's not solved yet.
Yeah, right. So that's why I think, a lot of AI stuff, I understand that AI is probably it's not providing the premium service, but I do really like the concept of everybody can just pay super low, like a $3. Let's say, like in Taiwan, you can see maybe a robot doctor that's somehow decent. It's better than none. Or ChatGPT can give me like 80% accuracy of what's going on with me. If, let's say if somebody who couldn't really afford, or a lot of people, especially right now, inflation, right? So I do think that it's interesting that, AI, a lot of people against it. For example, like, oh, you see like a job replacement. But at some point, it's like, recently I listened to Elon Musk talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He said that, oh, in the future, everything, all the service, all the food, everything will be so, it's like very cheap, almost free. And
Okay, okay.
people,
Does
yeah, go
does
for it.
this sound liberal or conservative? Because he said that it's liberal,
And
because
he's very conservative.
but he acts like he's conservative. But I mean, he's
Yeah, it's
super inconsistent about what he's saying. But he said people have universal income.
yes, yes. He said UBI. Yeah. So I was like, wow, this is so advanced. And his goal is to make everybody super rich. Not rich probably in the money, but means that whatever you can survive as a human being, as a basic needs, the society will provide. I think this is a pretty good, thought.
Yeah, if AOC says that, oh, okay, we need to have universal income for single moms, for instance, the minute Elon Musk will tweet, okay, communist AOC, right? But when he mentions about maybe we will have a universal income in the future, oh, he is a prophet. He's gonna take us to Mars, right? Why? Because he controls the messaging tools, not AOC. Okay, he designs the framing of this messaging. When he says it's universal income, he says, okay, conservatives will provide universal income. Okay, he just frames that messaging, and the receiver, okay, his target population and receiver absorbs it from Elon Musk, but they resist the same or similar message comes from a liberal or a progressive politician, right? That's the difference. Elon Musk is in charge of
May I ask you, like, do you think that Andrew Yang is more like a Democratic or a middle? Or because right
I
now,
think
the
he
interesting,
moved. She shifted to middle, right? Just a little bit.
I really don't know, like, what's right, what's left, what's in the middle. But I find out, the overall goal for everybody is to live a good life, right? And become the person they want to be. And it's just a different method, right? And according to different, for example, like, one time I listened to like a, I don't know, podcast or like a news. Trump said that, oh, I think everybody is very well off because all my friends are earning a lot of money. And I was like, come on, your friends are all billionaire, right? So it's like, maybe we are living in our own cocoon, and we live, or like people we talk, we got influenced by the average, like a 5 people who contact with us, like the average. So we behavior like our friends, right? More like
First of all,
yeah.
we have a president, uh, born and raised. It's a generation called limousine generation. Billionaire kids or millionaire kids in New York, their first car was not a secondhand car or used car. Okay, first car was a limousine. So Donald Trump is part of that generation. So he never drove a car, didn't have a driving license. He never went to any grocery store. Okay, so he doesn't know these things. He belongs to 0.001% of American population. So that's why all his friends are having their life right now, as opposed to rest of the American society.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's very interesting to see, just like you said that, even though the same message, like a UBI, right? Uh, like, Elon Musk said it, but he is representative of more. But you think it's very interesting that, somehow everybody is not exactly fit to the stereotype, right? Because people still like want to have, more like, for example, like a UBI. UBI is really good, right? But for somehow, when I listen to some other people's talk, they think, oh, UBI will make everybody lazy because if you sit there and if the money just keep coming, you won't want to do anything. But at some point, for example, you need to sustain your entire life, right? For example, like, oh, all the bill get paid. So you can do something that is very meaningful to either you or something that, for example, right now there are a lot of unsolved problem like climate change, right? Like, war, population, those types of big problem, right? And I think if, let's say, we release a lot of labors that say, you see, they got paid at UBI. Maybe we can group them to solve the bigger problem. I think that might be a really good form. I don't know. It's just like in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of interesting different ways. And I know the politician, they want to trying to, you see, like every time when I listen to political types of news, it's always like, oh, we need to make sure those like a base to, base either red or blue party. They want their base to vote them. So some agenda they need to have checklist, but move to a little bit middle, so to attract more like the other side or middle. I think the middle will be the majority. I don't know. That's my thought. Yeah.
Middle will be the majority. Well, we'll see. But speaking about UBI, universal basic income, well, Elon Musk's prediction is, I think, sounds like two Star Trek version. And personally, I believe universal basic income should be provided to weakest part of the society, not everyone, because it might have some disadvantages for the society. For instance, it might reduce the intention of entrepreneurship, innovation in the society. Okay, you need to keep that hype all the time. But on the other hand, for instance, United States, we have UBI pilot programs. I think there's one in LA, New Mexico has one, and they picked single moms.
I think this is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, single moms, where we see deep poverty, for instance. Yes, United States, we have deep poverty, by the way. This, I ask in my classroom to my students. Okay, they learn what does deep poverty means, and they see that so-called third world countries. By the way, we don't use third world anymore. Okay, that categorization belongs to colonialism and imperialism. So we see in developing countries these kind of issues, malnutrition. Okay, and deep poverty. We have 3.5 million kids belongs to that category, and single moms also one of the weakest part of American society. So UBI has some pilot programs targeting those moms, and I read some articles about it, particularly in I think in New Mexico. It's very successful. Because those moms spending that money for childcare, and rest of the time they go to some vocation workshops, so they make money. They improve their skills, they find jobs, and they prepare future for their kids. Okay, that's the goal. Look, again, that UBI creates innovation opportunity for that woman, right? So trying to work, trying to prepare her kids for the future. Maybe they want to send their kid to good school, so they just don't spend time at home. So I think one in LA and one in New Mexico, maybe some Midwest states also, but these are pilot programs, just targeting a couple of thousand single mom. But so far, I read some articles that it's going very well, especially in this country where childcare is a big problem. And school age, it starts late. I mean, it depends on which state you reside. So you have to be at home, right? Because you need to take, if you do not have help, if you do not have enough income to have childcare. So UBI exists in United States. Maybe Elon Musk doesn't know it. but we have small pilot programs about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that UBI can provide to people who it's like right now if you are not in job, right, and you are trying to search, you can kind of apply some kind of benefits like a $400 per week, something like that, unemployment something, right, like
Mhm.
that. And I think the longest a couple of weeks, right, 20, 80, I forgot how many weeks, but that's also something like a UBI, and also during COVID. Uh,
Mhm.
there's a time that people can get like somehow like a 1,000, $2,000 from IRS or from the government. Yeah.
I think universal childcare and universal healthcare for kids is coming to New York City.
Mm.
Because that was the
Wow.
Mamdani's campaign promise, and New York Governor Katie
Huh.
Hochul supporting these ideas. And New York is the heart of capitalism, is the center of capitalism in the world,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
almost 60% of New York City population voted for these ideas. So
Yeah.
they want, because those people, I think, at the same time they travel the world, they see other countries, European
Yeah.
countries, they have international connections, and they're like, why we don't have these opportunities?
Yeah, I do agree. And I want to ask like why we don't have, right? In California, we're supposed to be really liberal and we have a lot of immigrants, right? And also, I remember the first thing that I saw when I just came from Taiwan. I asked like, why the MRT, the transport public transportation system in California is not really being developed, such as, for example, like um, because it's cheap, right? And also, for example, like the train system. The train is like I don't know. I think if you travel everywhere in Taiwan, it's so easy to have public transportation. But in California, you have to drive everywhere. So, but I
I
know that yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think the that difference comes from the political culture. It's, you can say, Californian political culture, it's American political culture. Okay, after the Second World War, with the economic boom, every household
Mm.
purchased 2, 3 cars. Those big cars. I mean, American people are not even ready to buy small cars. They want their trucks, right? So it takes us to the political culture. And unfortunately, majority of American people also not traveling.
Yeah,
Very small
that's
amount,
true.
the very small
This
amount
is
of
yeah.
American people, they have passports. And among those passport holders, just very teeny tiny portion of them traveling to Europe, and they see, oh, you have a train between Germany and France, right? Interesting. And you don't even have a customs border. It's so easy to travel, and they learn, right? So that's the difference. Okay, people are not moving, and people are in the schools,
Mm.
especially K-12 education. I think it's something that missing. We don't teach our kids other countries, cultures,
Yeah, right.
even maps, right?
Huh.
So we like this isolated American exceptionalism, right? We,
Yes.
we are great. This is our roads, our highways.
Mm.
Who needs those public transportation? So that's also related to American political culture. When it comes to healthcare, is
Mm.
100% private sector because of American capitalism, right?
Yeah.
So in European countries or in Turkey, maybe I
Mm.
can give better example.
Mm.
Healthcare system, it's not perfect, by the way.
Mm.
Okay, it's not perfect. It's. I mean, when I was living in Turkey until 2015, it was even better. Now it's getting worse. But anyway, it's a mixed system. Okay, private
Mm.
sector and state
Mm.
acts in the private health market at the same time. So when you see state as an actor in the system, it automatically reduces the prices because state is competing with private sector. Okay, we don't have state involvement in health market. Okay, so only private sector and capitalism. Capitalism's error is the monopolies, creation of monopolies. And we have these big healthcare monopolies, insurance monopolies. So if you look at social democracies, Northern European countries, Central European countries, so they found solution for this monopoly problem. They are still capitalist. Okay, Sweden is still capitalist for sure. They're not communist, but they're just trying to help the market provide best for the society, not for the company. That's the difference. That's the difference. So, and political culture. Okay, but government in United States, government involves into market whenever it needs. So we're not talking about an economic market, U.S. economic market, that government's totally isolated from the system. Just yesterday, for instance, White House announced that they will buy $200 billion of mortgage bonds from the mortgage market, to decrease the mortgage interest rates.
Oh, that's actually good. I think that recently I read a news that Trump is trying to reduce the credit card rate around 10%.
Yes, the Biden administration also, I mean, they worked on those issues as well. But then Trump administration signed hundreds of executive orders and reversed those decisions. Now we're going back.
Every day is different.
Yeah, exactly. So government involves into market whenever they so we don't have this total wild capitalism that government is outside of this American market. No, they involve whenever it's necessary, or whether it's for the benefit of society, whether it's for the benefit of their political future. Okay, but that's the difference between European political culture and American political culture.
Yeah, and I think our talk is amazing because I think you mentioned about like start from Russian, Turkey, and American, right? And we talk about healthcare. We talk about like a bipolar parties, and also you see like for example Elon Musk frame UBI, even though it's the same thing, but you see like from the different parties, it attracted different people, and people block their ears. And I think just like you said that we know there are a lot of like a lot of controversial stuff, and especially for example in your classroom, right? In California Community College, right? We have people from like, for example, my student. I have student from high school. So I have student who is like a retired, right? I have student who is just learning that skill, for example, political science, just learning, and who might be in the industry for a very long time. How can you, and everybody is from different background, right? Some people from Asia, some people from European, some people from more conservative. How can you teach this course? And for example, like right now, AI is such a great tool. So how can you facilitate those like interesting conversation? I would say when I talk about politics, and I know that in America, it's very interesting. The taboo is that if you're trying to have a conversation with someone, I don't know where that concept come from, maybe from my friends or something. They say, don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics because people will fight. So I mean, how can you make everybody feel liberal and have their voice just unbiased? Not. I mean, bias and unbiased. This is like such a tricky words because when things comes out of my mouth, it's already kind of from my unique point of view, right? How can you want somebody have a unique point of view while unbiased? I don't know. That's PC. PC is also bias for somebody who is saying a lot but not saying anything. So how can you facilitate these types of course? Yeah.
First of all, I should say that I'm lucky I'm teaching in California because United States has a federalist administrative system, and the education system and academic freedom in California is not the same in Texas. So I have this academic freedom and I feel it, and I appreciate it. So in my classroom, I have the freedom to design my syllabi and pick my textbook and so forth. Okay, so I am the leader in my classroom. So I set forth the rules in my syllabus. I have statements. Okay, I'm trying to use a friendly friendly version of sentences. I don't want to sound like a dictator in my syllabus, but at the same time, I have to be clear about the rules. It's political science, and we have sensitive issues. And every day something is happening. And guess what? In my classroom, political science classrooms, I have this habit, first 5 to 10 minutes, I always give some time to my students to discuss the recent news.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it sounds great, but it's really difficult right now. Because imagine what just happened in the news last 2 months, okay? Starting from Epstein files, okay, go all the way to Venezuela and all these things, okay? So first weeks, for instance, first couple of weeks are very important to set the rules, tone, how we will use, okay? I mean, I precisely warned them kindly. For instance, Donald Trump did this, for instance. No, it's President Trump. Okay, this is a classroom. Former President Biden, former Vice President Kamala Harris, Vice President. These things are important. Okay, yes, nobody is 100% biased, and I am biased. Okay, inherently, yeah. But I have to be an example for them. Okay, President Trump, and I have the smartest students, maybe in California, and of course they can make mistakes. They can, use some unwanted, unexpected words sometime. But if it's the first time, okay, I just pause. And you know what? You are so smart, and I know your capacity, and your vocabulary pool is like 10,000. You can do better than this. Okay, restart. Everybody can make mistakes. Okay, but if second time, third time, okay, you need to wait. Okay, because at the end of the day, I'm the leader in that classroom. Okay, we are not equal. Somebody has to be has to dictate the rules, and I'm sorry, I'm assigned to do that. But there's a slight balance that you need to maintain. But in time, you learn this. Okay, if you're teaching political science, you learn this in time, especially in crowded classrooms. Well, again, in California, I'm happy that we have this freedom. And I'm proud of my students at every level, from different incomes. We have diverse student pool, and they're doing enormous jobs in the classroom with this given opportunity. All they need is a good leadership. I'm This is my goal. I'm just trying to do my job in the classroom by giving them this opportunity.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is very, very good because, for example, like if students start having some unwanted behaviors, right, we still have to maintain by being dictator, right? And also, you mentioned that be polite, even though you would disagree with that person, like a Trump, right? And I know that there are a lot of like bipolar things, right? Either if you don't like that politician or politics, right? You might do a lot of we all see a lot of meme online, right? Meme. Yeah, we all know those. So it also helps people to pull back to be professional, right? how to present your political perspective. And also, I remember I read some books that even though you disagree with the other party, your audience, right, stay, uh, I would say, polite and stay like respect. I think those will help with communication. Communication is not like I want to win. Everything I say is correct. It's not like that. It's more like I share with you what my thoughts. Just just share the perspective with respect, right? I don't agree with you, or you don't agree with me, but we still stay polite. I think this is also very important for a student to learn, like respect. Yeah.
I totally agree. Yes. I always try to tell my students, when you are in an argument with a friend in the classroom, okay, always keep in your mind that after this classroom and this classroom hour ended and this argument ended, okay, you might be able to go somewhere and drink coffee, okay? You should keep that social connection. So during your argument, during your disagreement, you shouldn't cut all the connections, okay? This is it. I'm done. You should always consider, like, okay, after this classroom, maybe I should have some availability, okay? I can drink coffee with these people, okay? I could share my lunch table in the food court. That must be your focus during your argument, okay? You don't, because it's not a parliament, it's not a congress. You belong to one political party, the other one belong to. This is society, okay? This is not a war between two teams, between two political parties. We need to act together.
Yeah.
So if you keep this strategy in your mind, you will lose lesser people in your life, okay? But if you act or consider every argument like this is the end, I will win, okay, and I will score, I will do gotchas, you will lose that people.
Yeah, you win the argument, but
You win that way, you lose people, okay? But you need to keep that space, okay? You should be still able to connect with that individual, so you can continue your life by socializing. Or otherwise, you will create a very isolated world around yourself.
Yeah, and especially the social media, the personalization, right? It's very easy to see like the opinion that's similar to you over and over again, and you think that this is the entire world.
That's what social media echo chambers actually triggering people or motivating people to do. Okay, this is your group. You belong here, this tiny group. We are the right ones, okay? Apart from this group, when you walk on the street, okay, you are at war. Those people that you see, you're not friends, so you should act like you are at war, okay? So the people are acting hostile other than their that social media group echo chamber, because they feel that, okay, I belong to that group, I don't need you. That's what social media is doing right now, okay? Just they want you to spend more time on their accounts, everything, so you become a product, okay? So they need to marginalize you, they need to increase your extremist ideas, so keep apart from the rest of the society.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because, for example, like I was in church for before. When I was in Taiwan, I have no religion, but after I get born to USA, it immediately get introduced to church, especially hosted by Chinese people. You know those like a Chinese or local types of church. It's very extreme. It's like there are. I don't want to say anything, but it's like I remember one time I asked like, oh, the church next to us, like there. I remember I was in sister house, and there was another church across the street. It's different church, different system. And I say, hey, I want to visit them. I want to see what they are doing. Just say hi. And they say, no, we are the only church, that according to whatever, whoever created this church, we receive the vision more clearly, correct, that they are corrupt or something. And I start thinking about, should I leave this church? Because I feel like, hey, church is supposed to be, doing something good, right? And make yourself more aligned, right? And cleansing, your thoughts, make your thinking more clear, right? And we pray we keep ourselves more positive energy. For me, it's more like that. Not like, oh, the Bible that I read, somebody rewrite it or something. It's the correct version. What does that even mean, correct version? So that's why, I mean, I haven't been to church since 2011, but I still love God. I love the good stuff. It's just like makes me wonder that right now, you see, even church, it's the same religion, but you see, like there are different branches, and people still think we are the correct. So it's just like yeah, like intriguing. I feel like this types of like debating religion and politics, everybody thinks differently, and it's just amazing that you can run the class, and at the end, people are not fighting or like a gun shooting. I think
It's it's so
that's amazing.
it's so funny because I feel the same. Like, I mean, I don't have any political affiliation, but
Mm,
at the same time, if you ask me which
mm.
world leader that I have huge respect at the moment is Pope Leo.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
he is the leader of country called Vatican. Okay,
Mm,
aside from his religious title, he is the leader of a country. If you
mm,
just listen to him, he is
mm,
the more welcoming. I mean, he constantly mentions tolerance, peace, and the former pope
mm.
as well. I mean, he has my most respect right
Mm.
now as a
I
as a politician in the world.
Interesting. I respect Dalai Lama. In Tibet, the leader. Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that because of my personal reason, I mean, when I was very young, I had like a lot of out of body experience. It's like, sometimes I just floated and travel everywhere. Yeah, so so that's why I get into religion for very when I was very young, because I was like, why I can see all those like I don't know, like ghost or phantom, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Um, and they are highly related to reality. So
mhm,
I feel like maybe that's true that there's another life that overlay another dimension overlay in this world. Our eyes design was designed by our creator or alien, whatever higher dimension, uh, life
mhm, mhm,
that we couldn't really see that dimension. So that's why when I was very young, I was getting to like a Buddhism, Taoism, and now Christianity. But I think the overall goal is for us to, just like you said, that love, right? Love is the highest energy, forgive, right? And be peace, right? So I think um, whoever can, whatever, or like whoever you talk to that person and you feel your energy is going up, I think that that's a good, good
yeah,
indicator. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
as same as political debate, right? If you talk to that person, if that person is making you feel like your soul is floating very high level, but if you feel it keep dragging down, that no matter what party that person is or whatever, it feels like wow, this person might, drag you down. So for me, every time when I judge things, I don't like to judge according to the surface. Like, oh, you are belong to this party, so you must right, you must wrong, or you are from this group, or your title is something. But I talk to people according to more like how you make other people feel. If you lift up, inspire people, and people want to talk to you and feel like energetic after talking to you, I think you are for some reason you are a good person.
Yeah, in society we need those connections for sure. Yeah, for our political socialization, for our networking, for our self-help. We all need these connections, and religion is one part of it. And but as you said, it needs to be inclusive. Okay, you you need to include other people. You need to be respectful to other people, and that must be the essence of religion, whatever religion that is,
Yeah.
regardless of the type of that religion or
Yeah.
liver, whatever it is. Okay, but sometimes it's not working like that.
Yeah, I understand. Like a lot of wars, right? I remember there was a very interesting comics or like a online animation. They said that if you the if you want, like they did a kind of like a fun, funny cartoon that somebody preach a religion to a mouse because there were a lot of mouse there and somebody want to kill the group of mouse. They just give them different religions and then those mouse at the end fighting each other and kill each other. And it's like the funny metaphor is that if you want people to kill each other, you just preach them different religion, and they will eventually start fighting each other. That's funny.
Well, religion is just one of the reasons. It's not the total reason. When you look at the history, it's the power. It's the money. It's the land. Religion was just a tool for it. The
Yeah.
religion was not the exact reason. If you just look at history, what just happened. I mean, just look at what's happening in Iran right now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They have like a religions and political leader.
And natural resources.
Wow.
I'm not the Iran expert, but I worked on energy issues. I can just tell you this, okay? Let's say Iranian government is overthrown, okay? Current government is overthrown. It's a new revolution. And this son Pahlavi, I think living exile in Canada, let's say, welcomed in Iran as the leader of new Iran, okay, new regime. Hypothetically, I'm talking about, okay? And every Western country will welcome new king, Shah, actually, new Shah, okay? Wonderful. And the next day, this new Shah Pahlavi will start privatizing natural sources, okay? Oil, natural gas in Iran. All Western countries will be happy, okay? They will welcome it, okay? That's the king we want. Everything is fine. Let's say 1 year later, this new Shah changed his mind and decided to, okay, nationalize the oil resources. You will see religion is going to be a problem again. Okay, this is a dictator. So everything is related to economics, power.
Yeah.
So that's why I am so cautious about what's happening in Iran. There are a lot of factors, a lot of actors are on the field. Okay, I'm not so sure these actors are really working for the democratization of Iran or the privatization of those oil sources. What I see personally, I mean, I'm not an investor in oil fields. What I want is the best for Iranian, right? Freedom, stopping executions, public executions. I mean, they have a lot of problems for sure. I want to end all these, but it shouldn't be replaced with another totalitarian regime. Okay, just because to reach Iranian wealth, natural resource wealth. So my point is, religion could be just a tool or an excuse.
Yeah.
In politics, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, especially when they are combined, right? That makes that person so powerful and has the legal reason to be the king because God told me yesterday something. I'm the delegate. right? I'm the
Mhm.
pointed person that everybody needs to listen to me because God told me. So yeah,
Well,
so I
if
think
if somebody claims that he or she represents God on earth, my advice is leave the room immediately. Do not involve into discussion. Okay, say bye. Good luck.
yeah, that is very interesting because I mean, throughout, like for example, like it when you see, for example, all the cult, right? Netflix has a lot of like crazy, like a
Yeah.
documentary about the cult. It's all starting with somebody who has a hallucination that God told him something, and everybody follow that person. So it's all
Yeah.
start with like that.
I mean, I respect all religious beliefs, okay? All belief systems, totally. But I don't have to be in the same room for a long time if there are some extreme claims happening in that room, right? Okay, I can respect from far away. Okay, it's your religion. Good luck. But I'm not gonna try to convince you for something else. If you hear that someone whispering into your ears, okay, I mean,
Yeah, I think it all depends on what you
Mm.
believe, right?
Yes,
What makes
yes.
you comfortable. I mean, even though I consider myself a Christian, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus because when something happened to me, I say, "Oh, Lord Jesus," and I feel like there's a light. I saw the light. So
Sure.
I believe that. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe it's my hallucination, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so and I agree with you because you see, like, I respect people who believe in Buddha, right? Because I was from there in
Mhm,
the
mhm,
past.
mhm.
I feel I don't know, I think for those high energy, I like to use the energy level. For people who emit energy, who make people who feel, very comfortable, those people supposed to be friends. For example, like, Jesus, Buddha, they're supposed to be friends in another dimension, in another world, and why we are like ants, right? Low-level animals, we are fighting. What's the point, right? We
Mhm,
should
mhm,
it's just like we look at different because our background, our cultural background, our history, everything, our race up the way, right? It's different. So when we see the almighty high level alien being, whatever, God, you want to say whatever, we use our own eyes to we have our own interpretation, and those human interpretation creates the divine for people to destroy. The reason why I think, I don't know, all the wars, all the stuff, I think the intuition maybe is originally is meaning for good, trying to help people, but because of iteration and the narrow-minded people, right, trying to group and just like you say, power, right? So it creates a lot of divine. But I think for the higher level energy, those types of beings in that higher level dimension, those aliens or God, they supposed to, be friends. That's my thought.
Do you want to hear a prophecy from me for
Yeah. Go for
Twin
it.
Feet 35? Oh, what's
I mean, we've already go crazy about like God and alien are the
no, no,
same,
no.
so whatever.
What this new AI will bring to our life? Because I will connect to your ideas. You know, there are pessimistic and optimistic projections about AI. Either we will ruin ourselves, like if Yuval Harari is right, we will just destroy ourselves. I hope he's not right. But I have some optimistic feelings about because AI will create a shift in the workforce.
Hmm.
Maybe we will not need a lot of engineers and doctors, and we will work 4 days in a week instead of five. Okay. Long story short,
Hmm.
we might shift the education focus from STEM to social science. Maybe with the help of AI. Okay. We will have more time to search for the questions and questions like who we are, what are we
Yeah.
doing. So maybe we will more focus on social sciences like sociology, philosophy, which are, by the way, declining in high education, right? Because people are leaning into engineering, other areas like where they can make money. But maybe with the AI, those areas like sociology, philosophy, maybe archaeology, okay, maybe theology, maybe we will have more students in those areas thanks to AI, helping our life, making it easier. Like you said, maybe we will need one doctor or one surgeon for one big area because they will have robots, in other areas, and one doctor will control it. So okay, we don't need thousands of doctors there.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe
Why
maybe
why we need that?
maybe we will search ourselves,
Yeah.
why we are, what are we doing in this world. So maybe it will open a new door to social sciences in the future. Of course, it's an optimistic theory, okay? It's not a pessimistic theory. Comes from me.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea because you see, we have so many. You see, like AI is helping us to do, but sometimes you find out that you are doing the loop thing, right? Creating curriculum, grading student, all those stuff, right? But let's say if AI or, if people can benefit from that and we release what we used to do, and then we, like Elon Musk, hopefully it happens. Like everything was no cost or cost super low, like to maintain your life, right? Or UBI, right? And maybe our goal is to search why we are here.
We will turn ourselves, okay? Let's
Yeah.
let's connect again, okay? Let's create some social organizations. Let's spend some time.
Yeah.
Uh, hopefully AI will serve for this interest.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's very important that we all have those types of conversation because I feel like the world, I am very lucky to be born in this era because I remember Bill Gates said that there are two things that impress him in the lifetime. The first one, the wow moment. The first one is the mouse or the interface, right? The GUI, wow, you can use mouse, so everything can be graphic instead of type command line. That's a revolution for or personal computer. That's the revolution. That part, I think I was too young for participating. But this time, he said the second time that he has a wow moment is ChatGPT. It's like, wow, you see, like the intelligence is almost get to human. And I remember Elon Musk said that probably next year or this year, 2026, AGI will slowly, get in. So yeah, my thought is that, wow, you see white collar, right? And now we are trying to, for community college, for me, I think blue collar, fixing here and there might be the next generation, but you can see that robot is coming in. So white collar, blue collar, you see like all the jobs, it feels like, wow, like, well, how can human do, right? And just like you mentioned that maybe we can, group together and figure out what's the thing that we haven't solved. So that's why I remember I interviewed another speaker. He said that AI can help us to do the majority of things, right? Set us free. Our mind, body, soul are free, and we can solve the problem like climate change. Nobody has ever solved, right? Even AI itself probably cannot really solve it. So yeah, and also war, right? War is because people don't understand, couldn't communicate with each other, so they fight. Before, a long time ago, they throw stones, but now because our technology is so good, so we use gun and shoot, right? So I think a lot of things that requires more beyond than automation, that thing, culture, soft skills, communication. I think communication is the base for a lot of things for us to work together to prevent war, right? And also education, just like it. Also, like you said, that healthcare, right? How can we come up? I mean, European or even Taiwan has a great healthcare system. Why American just not copy it, right? So I think there are a lot of like benefits, right? tangle between all the like a deep state, like if you are conspiracy person, right? So yeah, so I think that there are a lot of things that maybe AI can serve us for good, so human can start working together to solve the problem that too big or in the past we couldn't solve, but now we have the brain power to solve. Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that some experts are saying AI will help us to communicate with foreign languages easily, right? We will not need translator. So maybe it's gonna accelerate the globalization.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so not everybody has, adequate tools to learn English or other European language to find a common language. But maybe they will not need that. They will skip that part, okay? If you're born in somewhere in Africa, I don't know, you probably colonized already and you're speaking foreign language, but yeah, probably, yeah. But let's say you never learn any Western language, but maybe you don't need to anymore, and you still easily communicate with someone from, I don't know, Australia, right? So it's gonna accelerate, and you can be maybe work with this new language tools, right? You don't even have to travel. All these new opportunities, right? It's so I think it's gonna also accelerate globalization and flow of ideas, and maybe it's gonna help us to come closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
right now, I feel like everybody, right? We are actually in the why I was always thinking about some like a meaningful questions. For example, why is global? Why the earth is not flat? Because I think that for the global thing is that our life is connected. Whatever comes out will come back to you, right? Whatever you input or output, it all floats together. So I think all our destiny. I remember there was a astronaut types of like a documentation that people said that when astronaut they look at the Earth, they will feel like a shocked because they find out that wow, we are so lonely. I don't know whether there are a lot of like aliens out there in different planet, but so far as we know that we are the only uh, life according to our definition of life on this universe. Everything is bleach dark, right? And we are floated like ants in the floated blue muddied candies, right? And we are surviving, so we should work together, right? If the earth, right, if this like a little candy and a lot of ants are covering it, we need to work together, not killing each other, right? The resource is getting less and less. So
Yeah, but for that ultimate goal, we need specific. I'm referring to AI. We need AI ethics.
yeah, right.
We need regulations, regulations, regulations. I mean, I want to highlight that one. And the regulations for AI doesn't mean restrictions for AI, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just today, Grok image generator banned in several countries. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we don't want to mention here what's happening, but it's dangerous,
no worries.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody can, I think, blame those countries right now. What's happening, and we need those restrictions. Regulations in our country as well. It doesn't mean that we want those AI companies shrink or not become billionaires or trillionaires. It's not. It's not the question here. The problem here is the human dignity.
Yeah, right.
And data privacy. So AI is a tool. AI must be a tool. AI is not an authority on our life. We must be the authority. Okay, we need to set the rules for AI, and then in time with the progress, what's happening in the technology, maybe we will ease the strings. We will change some rules, but we must be in charge, not AI companies At the end of the day, it's just a technology that created for humanity. Okay?
Yeah, right.
We should always keep that principle in our daily life, in our schools, education, and in our politics, right?
Yeah,
Political
yeah.
arena, right? We shouldn't give those companies that blank checks, but
Yeah.
laissez-faire, okay? Next 100 years, do what, no. We need those regulations so that for that prosperity.
Yeah, just like I remember one time I talked to one of the speaker, and I mentioned that, do you think AI company can grab anything online, the data or private data, and to train their model? He said the thing about the question is not whether they can or not, because you see, like, even we really need data to train the model. However, you need to pay. It's like you go to online class, you use other people's stuff, you need to pay, or you use like a New York Times journalist. They spend a lot of time to create a lot of great content. You couldn't just grab them for free. You need to pay. You use others people's voice. You use people's painting style, right? Like a Japanese animation, right? Like the most famous one, right? You use their style. You have to pay every time somebody generate. You need to pay for it. He said as long as people grab the data, you can get the best data, but you have to inform, and that person need to agree, and you need to pay. I think he said then the problem will be solved. The reason why right now people are concerning is because they are not being informed and they are not getting paid for a lot of creators. So I think what a lot of regulations, it's not like, oh, you need to ban, oh, we ban Squawk image generation. I think the definition or the meaning is more like, hey, you generate nudes for our minors. It's wrong. Change these settings, revise it, and come back.
Yeah, next 30 days, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Remember, everybody should keep this in their mind about AI. So we have different AI tools created by different AI companies, right? All those AI tools at the same time representing the character of that company. So Grok is representing Elon Musk. You're right? So that's why Grok is having these issues, but not Gemini, right? Because Gemini, even more corporate or trying to be politically correct or trying to stay away from those problems. So all these AI tools, they are not technologically perfect, okay? Because humans, we tend to believe that when we see a computer, okay, X model, Y model, okay, they're all technologically fine. They're like calculators. Well, AI is not. Actually, when you ask a prompt in Gemini, okay, Gemini will provide you an answer based on that company's rules. That administrators and taskers working on that, okay, they have their guardrails for Gemini, and Grok is the same, okay. So Elon Musk is the head of the engineering group, so they have their own rules for Grok. So they're representing some ideas. For them, maybe you can ask some science question, okay? What is 2 plus 2? It's 4. Perfect. But when you ask who is the legitimate president of United States, okay? So you will receive responses based on how those AI chatbots trained by the leadership of that corporation.
Yeah.
And we don't have any regulations about that right now. We can, but we need to work on this, particularly for election integrity and data privacy, right? There's already some common understanding about AI that AI shouldn't involve into mental health, for instance, advices, right? We already put the taboo there, okay? This is not your area. Or they put those disclaimers, and we still have some issues. I think I heard some examples about what just happened in some AI chatbots. But for the political area, which my area, okay, it's uncharted territory right now.
Yeah, right.
And today I saw New York Mayor Kevin Hochul.
Yeah.
I think they're preparing AI regulation about for generated images. Okay, I think they're trying to put a restriction about political ads prior to 90 days before the election day. Okay, so they will not allow AI generated images to be used in political ads.
Oh, that's actually pretty good though.
I mean, it's just the beginning, baby steps. But it's important. It's important because, I mean, elections are the heart of the democracy, right? So because only 24 hours or just 6 hours before the election day, you can just, distribute some controversial AI generated image and you can change the election result, right? And it's just New York. And it's just a draft. Preliminary draft, but they announced it. They're working on it. This doesn't mean the restriction of freedom of speech or violation of First Amendment. No, these are important issues for our future, for stable democracy, for stable institutions in this country. Okay, and that's why I felt like we need to mention also AI ethics, and they need to be prepared for the regulations. And we, society, we citizens, we need to demand those restrictions, by the way, because we become like products for them. They make money by selling our data, okay? And by selling our ideas. At the end of the day, we should have a say, okay? We need to increase the awareness about AI ethics immediately, actually, because 2026 election is just very close. There's 10 months, and time passes so fast, and we are not ready as a country and state level for the AI interference for the next election.
Yeah. I think what you mentioned is that human dignity, right? We still need to put human, right? Make sure that AI is not trying to damage us and destroy or make us like put us down or make us feels like a tool or something, right? So yeah, I do agree with you that we need to have some regulation, and those regulations is not saying no, because I know that the reason why the billionaires want to reduce the regulation is because it's just too much and unnecessarily. And the old one plus new one and some old one need to get rid of. But I think some regulations that really protect the people. And the interesting thing is that I think, especially in Silicon Valley, we know that you just launch fast and see what happened and start revising it. That's also, I mean, my background is product development, so I know that how people deal with the new technologies that I have no idea what will happen. We just stored it and let's see what's the feedback comes back and we realize, right? So I think according to, your experiment, and if something that will be in hard form, maybe let's do the regulation, the new regulation. But the old one that, for example, there might be a lot of things that like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, that doesn't really, those bureaucracy, when the regulation added up, it will become humongous, right? So maybe the old one that we get rid of doesn't really apply to the nowadays society. But the new one that, according to the new problem, we really need to reinforce and make sure, for example, like you mentioned, Grok, a lot of countries ban the image generation. I think it's not banning that feature. It's just targeting because of Elon Musk, not personally. but it's because they generate some nude,
Mhm.
too easy, right? And cause a lot of people's, trouble. For example, every time when I want to ask something like what do you think about politics? Something like a little bit sensitive, like when will China attack Taiwan or something like interesting, like a very controversial stuff. I put in ChatGPT. Sometimes it will say that, oh, this is like it will give me a line that, oh, I am not the best person to answer this question. Can you ask another one? Or if you type into DeepSeek, it's like, oh, I cannot answer any questions related to politics. I think if maybe, for nude or even trying to put a kind of like a stop line or maybe make it this a subscription for adults, right? 18, more like a mature audience. But mature audience, you still like it's not really appropriate. You make your coworker or something very easily to swap, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think even in that area is dangerous because now they are using real people's generated images, okay, without their permissions. Even that area, I think, is dangerous. You cannot do that. No, no, you cannot do that. No.
Yeah, maybe that feature that's just
Yes.
in it because without someone's consent and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and you will never know because you're not you don't
Yeah, you're not even involved.
membership there. Yeah, exactly. So no. Uh, that's why I think governments are doing the right thing right now. The first in that particular area, first they need to think about their citizens' benefit and security, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What's the one thing that you still like to share that we haven't touched on yet?
Well, I would like to say, well, especially in higher education and academia, we have this divided two groups. Okay, one group is pro AI and have this self confidence that we can work with AI, we can use AI for to improve our teaching skills, and we can better serve for our students. And the other group, which is diminishing, by the way, is still giving some space, okay, to AI. I think our institutions, higher institutions, if they can give us more opportunities, more, workshops and all these equipment, we can do better. So all I can say is to be able to use AI tools, you don't need to be a computer engineer.
No.
I have no idea about coding. But I'm not an expert, but somehow I learned how to use it in my profession.
Yeah.
And it's really helping us. If you're familiar with AI literacy. So lastly, I would like to say I would like to reach out to our institution, give us more opportunities. We can do better.
Yeah, I do think that education definitely get a lot of disrupt by AI this technology because before we're trying to train that one specialized right students based on memorization. Whatever we teach in the past in the traditional way, that AI is excelled, right? So and it becomes like almost free for everybody to use it, including employer. So our student if we keep doing the same thing, same way of training, it's very easy that AI can just, do the same for the entry level for all the different sectors. So I think this is still an area that we are still working on it. And yeah, for training, as far as I know, will be a lot of AI trainings. Uh, from either from district or from CCC, California Chancellor's Community College Chancellor's Office.
That's
Where
what I received. Yes. Yes.
I mean, for my vertical, I'm preparing one workshop, and the interesting thing is that I did some research. I interview a lot of faculties, they all said we don't know XR, right? And at the beginning, I was worried about, hey, if we do a training, a full training, will people sign up? That's my question. Is like I don't want to create something and false hope, and nobody want to sign it. And there, I think last week I had a district flex day, and I had one panel, 1 hour, talk about my spatial AI or XR AI, how to turn your curriculum into immersive technology. We are going to do a PD, professional training, probably around summertime this year,
Mhm.
and then like a workshop. And then
It's good.
I find out that um, at the beginning it was like I remember 23 people register. So I think, oh, this is a nice group. We can have a lot of discussion.
Mhm.
And at the end, people keep joining. And the max people join, the faculty was 62 people joining in Zoom meeting.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, wow, actually, people are interested, even though maybe they are not, it's just like oh, we want to have more, give us more time. Let us to think, give us more time to absorb. I
Mhm.
think the more we start giving away a lot of like useful tools or workshops or training faculties, I think slowly we can make it better and better,
Mhm.
right? And at the beginning, maybe for me, I think it's more plant the seed, right? It's like it's all comes back to I remember a long time ago, I was my first job. If you want to listen, I mean, it's not like a religious or something. My first job was preaching the gospel. Because after graduating from our center, I mean, I it's very hard to immediately find a job. So I live in church. I was an international student and for 6 months. And, I have nothing to do besides sending out resume. So I go out for giving away the flyer. I remember one church sister told me that, hey, um, if somebody saw this flyer to the trash can, it's all good. It's all, God's will. Why? Because it's probably not the person, but the people who collect the trash, they will see it. Maybe it's that person. So just let it be. Don't trying to force. Don't trying to think that, oh, I talked to that person and I want that person to come through. Or I want that person to receive this good message. I want this person to be aligned with me. But think about that. You just tell that person, maybe this person will change. Maybe from the after like 5 years, and another person tell that person, and maybe that person start receiving. So we're just part of the plan. We just plant the seed, and whether it's grow or not, it's not in my control. So I think that's also my thought is that maybe we can have a lot of conversation, we can have a lot of workshop, but we are not like, oh, after this workshop, we need to convert everybody to build stuff using XR. But to give them some knowledge, maybe someday they will want to do that by,
Mhm.
reading a book, watching a YouTube video. They will start working on it, but just not right now. So that's why I think we just keep continuing building it.
I mean,
Cool.
sounds very good. Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time now. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. We release episodes weekly. If you enjoyed the conversation, check out our other episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Support us by giving us a follow and a 5-star rating, or subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.